Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Joey and I like stumbling across interesting places and then Googling the heck out of those places. So let's boot up GeoGuessr, let's boot up Wikipedia, and let's see what rabbit holes I'm going to find myself in this week. Ooh, okay, the Dino Sol to Centro de Formación Aviation Campus. Pretty big building. We're speaking Spanish, Portuguese, I'm not sure, La Marina, I mean this feels Spanish. We've got water over there. What is this plant? What are these things? Is that a fruit? This is a tree. I have absolutely no idea what they're growing there, and I cannot wait to find out. What are they? I've never seen a tree like that before. Is that another one? Wait, is these? They're all growing them. Well, what are you? What is this tree? I've never seen anything like it. Right, we've got to keep it moving. We've got 1 minute and 14 seconds to work out where we are. Espacio Canarias. Is this the Canary Islands? Ooh, now it's going to get embarrassing whilst I try and work out where the Canary Islands are. It is not those ones. Madeira, not those ones. Oh, it's embarrassing that I don't know. Cape Verde. This is embarrassing. I don't know where the Canary Islands are. And I've got 40 seconds to find out. So it's none of these ones. That's Tenerife. Gran Canaria. Oh, I mean, it could be Gran Canaria. But these trees are fat. What do these trees grow? Oof. Right, where's the city? We're going to be in here, right? Can I see? I find a big circular building. Not enough time. We were on Tenerife. In Santa Cruz de Tenerife. Fascinating. Well, I've never seen those trees before. Here's a question. Are all of these known as, is this the Canary Islands as a whole? I don't know. I'm at the beginning of my geography journey of learning about the world. Could have been better, could have been worse. I want to know what those trees are. And I now know what those trees are. But first, we've got to get into the Canary Islands because I had some learning to do there. Now, they are often just referred to as the Canaries, but the Canary Islands are an archipelago located about 60 miles from Africa's northwest coast. Now, I only got into geography a couple of years ago, and I haven't, I'll be honest, memorized everywhere in the world yet. I did just check the definition of an archipelago, and it is a group of islands in a chain or a cluster, with the Malay archipelago in Southeast Asia being the biggest, spanning 6 countries covering an area of 2,870,000 kilometers squared, with 25,000 individual islands, although Finland's Turku archipelago actually has the highest number of physical islands with over 50,000. But back to the Canaries, the 7 main islands are Tenerife, Fuerteventura, Gran Canaria, Lanzarote, La Palma, La Gomera, El Hierro, and La Garcia, and they have been governed by Spain since about the 1500s. They were an important last stop by Christopher Columbus and any other voyagers making their way across the Atlantic to the Americas. Now, interestingly, I didn't expect to learn that the Canary Islands are actually not named after the canary bird, even though the birds are native to the islands. Rather, somehow the birds were named after the Canary Islands, even though the canary birds lived on the Canary Islands before they were called the Canary Islands. History can be funny like that sometimes. Now, the name Canary Islands is actually derived and translated from its Latin name, Canare Insulae, meaning land of dogs. Now, Canare kind of sounds like canine and Insulae kind of sounds like island. Now, historians are unsure of why it is called the land of dogs, although there are several hypotheses, but I find it really funny that that cute little canary bird is technically called a dog bird. Now, to make it double interesting and triple confusing, Canary Wharf in East London, the financial heart of London, is located in an area called the Isle of Dogs. Now, it's named Canary Wharf because it used to home a large dock and warehouse that handled imports from the Canary Islands. But similar to the land of dogs, historians aren't quite sure on the origin of London's Isle of Dogs, although the first recorded use was in the 1520s. Right, we got mega sidetracked there. Let's talk about what we saw in the game. So first, we saw the aviation campus, which, as you would expect, is a flight school, and after looking at their website, it's actually a really clever location to have a flight school in, as they have consistently good weather, there's loads of water for crash landings, and due to just how close they are to the equator, they get approximately 4,800 hours of sunlight a year, which technically sort of makes it the most in Europe. Now, we also saw this giant tank with Government of Canarias on it, and that was our biggest clue. Initially, I thought it was a gas tank, but after further research, it's actually part of an old oil refinery that was saved from demolition in 1997 and turned turned into a public art and performance space. 7 years later, it was officially recognized and thereby protected as a National Cultural Heritage Asset, known locally as El Tanque, or the Tank. Now, frustratingly, had I not wasted so much time by getting distracted by those unusual trees, and had I have looked in the opposite direction from El Tanque, I would have noticed something that would have given me a much bigger clue as to where I actually was, is that the other end of the road there was the fantastically shaped Tenerife Music Auditorium, one of the most recognizable buildings in the island. Now, the trees that we saw lining the streets were Delonix regia, also known as the flame tree, also known as the peacock flower, or the royal ponciana, or the phoenix tree, or the flame of the forest. Everyone who's ever seen those trees has decided to give them their own name. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, that is a list of bright, colourful, fiery names, and that does not reflect what we saw, because what we saw, well, they look like a dying tree with withered, leathery fruits, which is true, but we were just looking at those trees at the wrong point in the season. Now, we did actually see some trees still in bloom. I just didn't notice that they were the same species of tree. And after further research, those trees are famed for lining the streets of Santa Cruz de Tenerife. The trees were originally native to Madagascar, but thrive in the warm sun and frost-free climate of the Canary Islands. Now, the long black things hanging from the branches weren't fruits, but actually seed pods, often referred to as maracas, as the hard-shelled seeds rattle inside the dried woody husk. Right, that was a very interesting rabbit hole. Let's see how it went in the next round. Ooh. Alright, so we're inside. Ooh. Okay, wait, what's that say? Kazakh? KZ? We're in Kazakhstan. This is cool, wherever we are. Can we move around? We can move around. Alright, let's see if we can keep it moving. Can we spot any roads? Not really. That's cool. That's very cool. This is all cool. Maybe this circular building can help us out to our southwest. Right, let's just bop into the capital city of Kazakhstan. But we need to find a tower. Ooh, this is going to be tough. So this road is heading southwest to southeast. So we're on a bit of this sort of angle. This is cool. That does say Kazakhstan. That's very cool. We've got a handprint. I wonder who made that handprint. We've got this green square going to our basically east. I mean, is it this? I'm not seeing a tower though, but there is a cafe. Biatarek. That circular building. No, I don't think this is correct. It's kind of the best that I've got. 52 meters away. Oh, so we will take that. Happy days, please and thank you. So, right, what is that tower? What were those buildings we could see? There was a lot going on there. I'm looking forward to the rabbit hole. Past me, you better believe that future me went down some rabbit holes. So we were in the Baytarek Tower, a 105-meter tall tower, an observation point in the heart of Kazakhstan's modern capital, Astana. When Kazakhstan declared its independence from the Soviet Union in 1991, it declared its intention to move its capital city from Almaty on its southern border to a more centralized location in Astana. Nursultan Nazarbayev, Kazakhstan's first independent president, wanted to create a monumental landmark to symbolize a new beginning for a post-independent Kazakhstan. Baytarek Tower is designed to embody the Kazakh folktale of Samruk, a mythical bird that would lay a golden egg each year within the tall branches of the Tree of Life, or Baytarek in Kazakh. Now, each year when the Samruk laid the golden egg, a dragon, the Idahar, who lives at the base of the tree in the underworld, would fly up to the heavens of the tree and it would eat the golden egg nestled in the highest branches. It's not really one of those folk tales with an obvious happy ending, but the infinite loop of hope and sadness symbolizes the shift of winter and summer, day and night, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. Baytarek directly translates to tall poplar tree in Kazakh. Now, the gold mirrored sphere of Baytarek Tower houses two observation decks, offering views 97 meters above the city skyline. 97 meters was specifically chosen to mirror the year that Astana became Kazakhstan's capital city. We were on the top level level of the observation deck because we saw the gilded handprint of Nur Sultan Nazarbayev. Visitors are encouraged to place their hand into the imprint of his hand and then make a wish. Now, we also saw this globe with 17 radiating segments. This piece commemorates the Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions and its 17 founding representatives. They hold a conference every 3 years in Astana. Back to the tower itself, to keep its beautiful trunk-like lines, the entrance to the Baytarek Tower are actually hidden underground, with entrances sunken below eye level via staircases in the surrounding plaza. Now, the blue domed building that we could see in the distance, and talking of blue domes, shout out to Tulsa from a couple of videos back, that blue dome was actually the Accordia residence, the official workplace of the President of Kazakhstan. Interestingly, invisible to us but directly behind the Accordia residence is this unexpected glass pyramid, the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation, which serves as the nation's non-denominal spiritual centre. Coincidentally, the glass pyramid was conceived as the permanent venue for the triennial meeting of the Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions that we learned about a moment ago. It was designed by English architect Norman Foster, who also designed Berlin's Reichstag Dome, the Gherkin in London, and Apple Park in California. Now, that was a very interesting rabbit hole. Let's see how the next round went. What are we thinking? Krona. We've got this cool building. Oh, this is cute. Very sweet. Oh, we've got mountains. We've got a flag. Is it Norway? Potentially, but I need a bit of wind. Yeah, that's got to be Norway. Of course, Norway does use the krona. Is it? Ooh, what's that? That's cool as well. All right, where do we think we are in Norway? Bergen? We sort of seem like a holiday place. You know, people bring their boats. Oh, now we're just stuck in a back street, are we? Yep. Oh, now I'm in the middle of nowhere. Fantastic. I don't think Bergen is the play. Let's return back to the beginning for a moment. Let's go in a different direction. Now, this building is very cool. But is it enough to go off? Did that say Troms? Could we be in Tromsø? I'm gonna bop. I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna regret it. Where was that water? Water is to our east. Yes. I'm gonna sort of stick with this. Yes! Oh, we're happy with that. Nice. What was that cool building? And were there any other things that could have helped me work out that I was in Tromsø? Nice. Oh, I should have just... that's the way she blows. I nearly had enough time to click up there, but I didn't, and now I'm making excuses for being an average GeoGuessr player. Let's cut to me with all the stuff that I learned. Here are all the things that I learned about Tromsø. Over the years, Tromsø has developed a number of nicknames. The gateway to the Arctic, as it was often used as a base for Arctic expeditions. The Arctic capital, as it is the largest northern city in Norway. In the 17 and 1800s, it was known as the Paris of the North, as it had a dynamic cultural life and cosmopolitan atmosphere. It's also called the City of the Northern Lights, as it is situated above the Arctic Circle, so it regularly gets incredible displays of the Aurora Borealis. But as a football fan, the nickname that I associate with Tromsø is the nickname for their football team, Tromsø Idrettslag, referred to locally as Guttan, meaning the boys or the lads, and they've been my soft spot Norwegian team for a while, and I'll always cheer on the lads. Now, one of the first clues that we saw was the use of krona currency, but that doesn't really narrow things down too much, as it's not only used in Norway, it's also the name of the currency in Sweden, Denmark, Iceland, and, of course, the Czech Republic. So all that really did was narrow down that we weren't in the Czech Republic. Now, the cool building that we saw was actually the local library or bibliothek, but it was actually originally opened in 1973 as the Focus Cinema. Its fascinating roof is formed of 4 bowed arches, and it is a hyperbolic paraboloid. Why am I laughing? Now, this hyperbolic paraboloid, that's a fun word to say, is heavily inspired, but it is heavily inspired by Mexican architect Felix Candelero, whose notable works also include the Hotel Casino de la Selva in Mexico, the Palacio de los Deportes Olympic Stadium in Mexico City, as well as the La Oceanographic building in Valencia, Spain. That paragraph was tough. Did I get away with it? I don't think I did. But back in Tromsø, when viewed from above, the library's parabolic roof is nowhere near as recognisable as it is from street level, as it looks like a perfect circle. At first I had originally thought it was a gas or liquid storage tank, but only when it's viewed from street level does its beautiful shape and lines become apparent. Interestingly, the original Focus Cinema's roof was of such high quality that when the local government purchased the land to build a library in the early 2000s, they concluded that it was possible to keep the existing self-supported roof and construct a new library underneath it. Now you may be thinking to yourself, it's a bit of a shame that the city of Tromsø has lost its cinema, but fear not, as if we pan just a little bit to the right, you can see that the new multi-screen modern cinema is just next door from the old cinema. And the new cinema does seem to still have Focus in its name and branding. But here's the thing, the old Focus cinema was not even the oldest cinema in Tromsø, not by a long shot. And if we just squeeze 2 streets away, oh, right, I've got to remember how to say this word. If we squeeze 2 streets away, we can find the Venderedsteret. No, I practiced this as well. Verdenstetteret Cinematic. Let's cut to what it should sound like in Norwegian.
Verdensteatret.
Anyway, that is Norway's oldest municipally owned cinema, opened in 1916, where it has remained continuously open ever since. The 216-seater cinema regularly displays films in 35mm, 16mm, and modern digital projections. We also saw this cute little wooden bandstand, or in Norwegian, a music pavilion. Pavilion. Let's call it the Music Pavilion, shall we? It was constructed in 1892 and it sits in front of the Old Town Hall, which was built in 1864. On the other side of the water, we saw the tip of this fascinating looking triangular structure, the Tromsdalen Church, or known to locals as the Arctic Cathedral, or to locals who speak Norwegian, bear with me, because I've practiced both of these words. Ishafskathederen, or known to locals who speak Norwegian as the Ishafskathederen. Oh, that was even worse. Cut to what it should have sounded like.
Ishavskatedralen.
Anyway, although the Ishafskathederen translates to the Cathedral of the Arctic Ocean, it is technically not a cathedral, but a parish church. But I'll let you guys tell the Viking ministers that it's not. I'm very happy to call it a cathedral. So there we have it. These were all the interesting places and all the interesting rabbit holes that I went down this week. I hope you all learned something that you didn't know before, because I definitely did. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing so the algorithm can show me some love. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a fantastic week.